Rumble.
Dikembe. Anyways, this is called Run the Floor. And we're going to talk about the Western Conference games last night because they're the most recent in our memories. And the Rockets taking that 3-1 lead against the Jazz. Harden, CP3 both having good nights. Is this one over, Jalen?
It's over now.
Okay.
No. Here's the thing.
Nope.
Chris Paul, for a player that was always a pass first, pass second, then look to score kind of guy, now he's become points per possession, the best isolation player in the entire NBA. Talking about reinventing yourself like we talked about with LeBron James. CP3 has done that.
There's a bit of that going on this year, which is nice to see. The evolution of humans. I like it so much. So the big storyline this entire season, actually, with Houston. I know the two stars and the names and the household names are Harden and CP3, but Clint Capella was a big part of everything that happened. He contributed 12 points, 15 rebounds, 6 blocks. 5 of those came in the last 3 minutes. Is he the X factor against the Warriors?
Absolutely. And the thing I love about Clint Capella is he literally plays this role, Beads. You saw one of those highlights where they gave it to him on the post and he did the jump hook. You saw him running the floor, catching the lob for a dunk. You see him blocking shots on the other end of the floor, being an intimidating factor. Clint Capella has played at an all-star level the entire season.
Do you want to switch over?
Sure.
All right, we'll talk about the other one. Because after a not-so-great shooting night in Game 3, and we're going to do that, Steph Curry was much better in Game 4, scored 23 points. He also moved into 3rd place for most all-time playoff threes, behind one LeBron and Ray Allen. He has only played 78 playoff games. LeBron's played 227, and Ray Allen played 171. Those are big number differences.
And also the evolution of the three-point shot. Not only is Steph Curry a terrific three-point shooter, but he comes in an era where it's not strange for a guy to take double-figure threes on average, unlike the guys that he passed on those lists, like a Ray Allen, a Reggie Miller. But for argument's sake, you could say that he's probably the greatest shooter that we've seen in basketball because he does it off the dribble, he can do it off the catch, he can do it off screens. Steph Curry continues to evolve and be one of the best players in the game.
That crowd. Finally, KD, absolutely unstoppable. Pelicans were often playing good D, but it did not matter because he just somehow elevates over every single person. Jalen, your thoughts on his performance?
Aggression was the word that came to mind. Usually
right
the
here.
Golden State Warriors absolutely are about ball movement and player movement. But when you got a great matchup and you got one of your best players who's hot like KD was, you got to feed him, B.
Look, it's one thing to elevate, over a Drew Holiday, but when he does it over Anthony Davis, that's impressive.
No doubt. It's almost like when you go to the fight and then you punch the bully first. That's what KD is able to do. It doesn't matter whether it's Drew Holiday. It doesn't matter if it's Anthony Davis. He's 6'10". His wingspan allows him to get his shots off. And we talked about LeBron James with his step-back turnaround jumper. Kevin added that to his repertoire a couple of years ago.
So I want you to show us what was working, not necessarily tell us straight. I'm taking those skills away from you today. Zap, let's run that video and you can tell us why or what is working.
So basically what KD is doing and the Golden State Warriors are doing are trying to find ways to just direct post and get him the basketball when Drew Holiday is on him. Right now they have so many shooters surrounding the floor, no double team. You're going to live with the one-on-one action. We're going to watch it one time again. Drew Holiday's working as hard as somebody can on KD. He's just being patient. Right-handed players usually love to turn over the left shoulder, but that's unguardable. And so KD, once he gets these opportunities, it's going to be only a matter of time before he gets a bucket if somebody doesn't come and help or double team.
You know what I think one of the pieces of sound before the game was the Drew Holiday thing, where he said, look, what am I going to do? The guy's 7 feet tall. All I want to do is just be around him at all times. As far as giving Drew Holiday a grade on what he's been able to do or not do, what do you think?
He's working really hard, but how about this? Everybody else is like, KD, just take him. Like, the funny thing about this play is watch his teammates. They're not even worried about it. They're like, oh, no, KD got the ball. He's on fire, and that's a heat check. Look at just walking. Look at everybody else. They're not running nothing. Look at Steph. Look at Ivan Iguodala. Look at Draymond. They're not doing anything. They're like, we want him to go to work. Yeah. That's what that is. And KD just rises up. Look at that. Over a contest. Anthony Davis is 7 foot tall. He's the guy that I picked to win Defensive Player of the Year.
Yep.
He's out there on KD. They're 26 feet away from the basket. He just rises up like it's a walk in the park.
I think somebody said it last night was that KD had 38 points and we just sort of gloss over
No
it.
big deal.
Are we spoiled, or are we just used to seeing this, or we expect it?
We're seeing all-time greatness for some of these players. You showed Chris Paul how he evolved his game and become better at isolation. LeBron James hit a game-winning shot off of one leg on the left side of the hoop. And Kevin Durant, who continues to not only score on Drew Holiday, but shoot threes over Anthony Davis. He's an equal opportunity employer.
Oh, I like to hear that. Thanks, Jalen. Sports Center, 6 p.m. That's Eastern time for you folks. After PTI with Kevin Nagandi and Michael Eads, you get a little bit of see what the sweep situation is for the Cavs. Plus, is it time for the last place Orioles to trade Manny Machado? And the latest on Ben Roethlisberger. That's Sports Center, 6 Eastern on ESPN and the app. Got a few baseball topics to get through here. Dodgers placing Clayton Kershaw on the 10-day DL. Got that left biceps tendonitis. He struggled in a recent starts. Have we seen the end of Kershaw?
I hope not. The end of him at his best. I certainly hope not. Remember, last year he missed most of the season. This is the 4th time in 5 years he's going to spend at least some time on the disabled list. The real question is, where is his future going to be? Is it definitively going to be in L.A.? That remains to be seen. We'll talk to Timmy Kirchin a little later. I do not think we've seen the end of him at his best, but I don't know how soon he'll be able to get it back.
He's in a decline. He's giving up home runs to lefties. That's something he didn't used to do.
Mookie!
Mookie!
Day after suffering a bruised right shoulder, he got drilled in the back, running to second base. This seems worrisome, Greeny.
Well, look, it's worrisome in part because he's like the best player in the whole sport right now. And Mike Trout is universally considered, I think, to be the best all-around player. But Mookie Betts right now leads the majors in runs. He leads in home runs, slugging percentage, OPS, and total bases. You can't be playing better than he is, and they play the Yankees this week. So this would be a bad time for him to be hurt.
Can I tell you something you like, Greeny?
Yeah.
His middle name is Lynn.
Right.
Which means his initials are MLB.
You love that. Yankees, think about it.
Pretty good.
I won 15 in the last 16. Yesterday was a pretty dramatic win. They trail the Red Sox by 1 game in the standings ahead of what Greeny just told you. Their 3-game series here. Expecting an epic division race for these two?
Yes, probably. I saw a stat that surprised me this morning. This is the latest they've ever met in the season, these two long-standing rivals, where both were playing over 700 ball. I would have thought that would have happened before. This isn't that late into the season. So it is a little bit unprecedented, and it is a little bit good. They're bringing back this rivalry. So I think that's terrific, and I'm looking forward to the week. Jalen, you have me nonplussed with the MLB thing. That's actually...
Think about that one, Greeny.
You like that?
That was very Kirchin-esque of you.
Finally, the most bizarre story out of New York. Mets and Matt Harvey officially breaking up. They've designated him for assignment. That was on Saturday. His Mets career has been a mix of early success, injury, controversy, and now I guess estrangement. Can he turn it around if he goes somewhere else?
I think smart money says no. Look, I'm in no way rooting against Matt Harvey, despite what I'm about to say. He had an extremely unlikable persona about him amongst people who were around when he was at the top. And that, I think, is a pretty good cautionary tale for people, because when you're that way when you're on the top, people can't wait to knock you when you're on your way down. I'm just going to read you numbers. He was the starting pitcher for the National League in the All-Star game in 2013. So he was that guy. The last 3 years, his ERA is almost 6. Those are numbers. Now, we had a significant injury in there, and that really is the biggest question, is has that robbed him of what we saw Matt Harvey's absolute genius? He was a brilliant pitcher waiting to happen. I'm not taking anything away from what he was. Can he recapture it? There's obviously no way to know.
The key that stood out to me is you said 2013. It's now 2018. And as an athlete, what you have to continue to do is evolve. And a lot of times when you are the starting pitcher in the All-Star game, Greeny, and you're not that guy anymore, it's a humbling experience, and you have to reinvent yourself. He seems to be an athlete that's not willing to do that.
Right.
Therefore, the decline happens a lot faster.
Are there some that just, as we say, be humbled, just cannot be humbled?
Absolutely. Let me give you a perfect example. Chris Paul was the guy. He left Los Angeles to join James Harden's team at this point of his career. LeBron James is the guy. He doesn't have to worry about reinventing himself. Dwayne Wade needed to leave Miami and come back and be a reserve. What did we hear from Carmelo Anthony after his team lost this year?
If you're a team out there right now, do you take a chance?
Yeah, I mean, you could take a chance because there's not that much money involved in it. But I will pick up on your thought. Yes, the Carmelo Anthony thing. He's not going to the bench. Harvey handled this thing very similarly. They took him out of the rotation because he didn't deserve a spot in the rotation. He was killing them in the rotation. And instead of saying what he could have said, which is, I'm going to help the team any way I can. I would much rather be. You don't have to pretend you're happy about it, but you could say, I would rather be a starter, but I'm going to help the team any way I can and try and earn that job back. We all saw the way he handled it. Didn't handle it that way at all. And that's one of the reasons he's not there anymore. They tried to send him down to the minors and all of that. We saw what happened. But part of that is because of the way he handled everything. Can he be humbled? Obviously, I have no way of knowing. I don't want to make clear. I'm not rooting against the guy. I hope he can recapture it because he was a dynamically talented young athlete. And it has to be very frustrating to lose that. But it is, I think, again, a cautionary tale. If you're going to treat people the way he was treating people when you're at the top, then that is going to come back at you if you don't stay that way.
We think. Doesn't always. People get away with it for a really long time. Meanwhile, on planet Earth, this video, I hate to say this, I've laughed at it a few times now. Phillies Nationals, there was some rain, there's a tarp.
Oh, no.
And then there's that guy.
Help! I need somebody. Help!
They can't stop. The tarp waits for no one. There you go. He's out. He's safe. I just laughed because he just could not get ahead of it.
And I can't ignore all of those empty seats. That just frustrates me so much.
It's raining now, Jalen. If it's raining, I'm leaving the game too.
True. You're right, B.
Yeah, you're right.
Jalen, what you're telling me is that you're watching video of a man trapped underneath a tarp, and what you're noticing are the empty seats. I'm fascinated by the way your mind works. I'm just learning more and more of this as we go.
Well, I've been in so many arenas and stadiums my entire life as a fan, as a player, and it's always head-scratching to me when I'm watching a professional event.
Right.
That you can literally donate the tickets, give them away to charity, give them to kids. And I'm watching teams have empty seats. And baseball is 90% empty.
Jalen, I love you.
Take place.
I love you, right? But you're missing the point.
There was a dude trapped under the tarp.
Oh, God.
Under a tarp.
It was funny. It was meant to be funny.
It was like in a dryer, and he couldn't get out. And it just kept going.
We were just going to have a laugh and move on.
Wednesday night baseball, Red Sox Yankees, no upset. Play the second game of the three-game series with David Price and Masahiro Tanaka on the mound, 7 Eastern on ESPN and the app. Now, this is the debate that will never die, but has it reached new intensity after another amazing LeBron buzzer beater over the weekend? LeBron or MJ? Who we got next? Get up.
To the untrained, it appears as chaos.